Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Dijamco, the MultiDimensional MD. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do because I would love to hear from you, comment, and yeah, let's have a discussion. If there's anything you'd like for me to talk about in future podcasts, then let me know. I want this to be really active and dynamic. Today, I want to talk about the anniversary effect, the what it is, why it's important, how we can deal with it, and how it happens. Because I'll I'll discuss like some personal things as well, like what's been going on for me, and then also what I've seen in my patients and in my professional life, how I see it pop up for people. So the reason I want to talk about the anniversary effect is because I have gone through it recently. Yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of my dad's crossing over. And it brings up a lot for myself, for my family, for other loved ones and friends. And so it's a lot to unpack. And basically, what the anniversary effect is something that's known in psychology. And it's something that comes up, especially in terms of stress and trauma and that kind of literature. But it's defined as a certain set of thoughts, emotions, and memories that occur on the anniversary or around it due to a significant event that's happened prior. So, this event can be the date of a divorce or the death of a loved one. It could be something that you're consciously aware of and remember, or it could be something that's more subconscious. And it could also be more a time of year, like when the seasons change, or when the kids are back in school, or during the winter holidays, that brings up certain things that have happened in the past. So, why is this important in health? Well, this affects, of course, our mental emotional health, and we want to feel good that way, but it also affects our physical health, especially anything that is worsened by stress. And that would be pretty much most things. So it could influence our blood pressure, how we're feeling in terms of that anxiety coming through, like through your digestion, through headaches. So anything, any symptoms that you might tend to have could worsen, and I've seen that happen for people. I've seen people with chronic illness that tends to worsen it at certain times of year, or new things can come up. So new symptoms, whether they're mental, emotional, or physical symptoms, can pop up during that time of year or on that date. And how does this happen? So it's although time is relative, we still have these rhythms and seasons to our lives. Your mind is constantly keeping track of time. Like we'll look at the calendar, we'll look at our clock, we'll look at our watch and kind of track what time it is and what day it is. But your body does also. And any unprocessed emotions related to an event will be held in the body just waiting for an opportune time to be released. And these emotions will get triggered around that anniversary. And so that's why it's called the anniversary effect. So, how can you deal with it? Well, that depends on you. I'm going to give you a few different ways, and there's no right or wrong to it. So, that's really important to know for yourself. So, to be really gentle with yourself. Well, first thing is to be conscious of it, because if you're conscious of the anniversary effect, then you'll have more choices. And the anniversary effect is not like a black or white thing. It doesn't have to be just because something happened that it is still affecting you. Remember, it's because of these unprocessed emotions. So that's when it will be more significant. You could have gone through something and processed it, shook it, like kind of shaked it out, talked about it, where you'll still remember it, but you still don't have these intense emotions or patterns coming up for you where it will be really triggering for you. It'll come up more as this memory and won't bring up the physical symptoms and mental emotional symptoms with it. But if you are conscious of it, even if you are aware that it could be a subconscious thing that comes up, then it gives up you more choices, because then you can see, like, you can consider, even if something's happening to you and you're not really sure why, like you're feeling kind of down. And I've been hearing so many people say that to me, like, I've been feeling kind of down lately, or just been kind of worked up or more anxious than usual. I just feel kind of wired and my mind doesn't seem to be able to focus. And I'm not sure why. I mean, there's many reasons for it, right? The pandemic, a couple years into it. But there can also be layered on top of that other things that are contributing to it. So you might consider, like, looking like, did something significant happen to you this time of year, around this date? So it's not like you have to dig for it, but just at least consider it, because it helps you to have more compassion for yourself and to be gentle with yourself so that you can address what you need to help take care of yourself. Next, to consider your choices. One, if you are feeling overwhelmed, and I feel like this weekend I felt some of that, like knowing that this date was coming up, and being like the first anniversary, and not really knowing how do you completely deal with it, or um, in a way, it's like you having to face all of those same emotions again that I went through with my dad when he passed a year ago. It seems like I'm like kind of reviewing it again with a fresh set of eyes and fresh feels. So um, if you feel overwhelmed, then you might want to take a break to rest more. And I've been doing that, getting more than 8 hours of sleep, because I need extra energy to be able to deal with it. So what I've been doing is trying to get like 9, 10 plus hours of sleep. And it's not that I'm doing that indefinitely. It's just for these few days around it so that I have more energy again to deal with it. So consider doing that for yourself. You could consider using some safe escapes to help lighten what you're feeling. And this is when the creative arts can be helpful too. So, reading a book or watching TV, nothing so triggering, but these are safe ways to escape a little bit, but not to um, completely dissociate from it. Because if you are doing it consciously, knowing that you just need a little break, then you're not completely dissociating from the event, the date, the anniversary effect. And remember that when you do these things, you're doing it temporarily. So if you're binge watching TV, it's not like you're going to do that every day, but maybe for just a short period of time. You can give yourself a time frame where you're like, okay, I'm going to rest. I'm going to let myself have this bit of escape, gather my energy so that I can address things further. You can also move your body, like do things like yoga, go for a walk, do the TRE, sign up for a TRE class, tension and trauma release classes. I've talked about that before. And of course, you can always get help if you are feeling overwhelmed. Another way is, if you're ready to start processing those intense emotions, then you can recognize that the anniversary effect is an opportunity to do so, but only if that's what you desire. There is no right or wrong to your choice. There is no rushing the grieving process. And if you want, then you can bring in other tools to help you process, like emotional freedom technique or EMDR, brain spotting. Those things, if you don't know about them, then they do require some help. But you could also turn to just journaling or art, writing, just doing a brain dump of whatever you're feeling, like stream of consciousness down onto the paper so that you can unload and unpack all of these intense emotions that are layered on top of each other. And as a reminder, then I'll also do what I did when I first got the news of my dad passing suddenly. And it's this 3-step process that I've talked about elsewhere as well, where one, just call out how you're feeling. Every one, it could be mixed emotions. I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel intense grief. I feel maybe out of my body even. I don't know what to do. You can just, everything, you can call out your thoughts as well. And then next, you brought your awareness to how you're thinking, feeling. Next, you can bring your awareness to your body. What am I feeling in my body? So, for me, then it's like, okay, I felt some tension, pressure in my chest, and just my head too. So just calling it out again. And then the next step is to check in with your breathing. Am I breathing? And if you're not, chances are you're holding your breath. So to continue breathing, to add some gentle breath into your awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, your body, so that it helps to ground you into the moment. And I did it the last year because I didn't want to miss this very precious moment, even though it was very difficult. And then going to the anniversary effect, I've done that over and over again as different layers of emotions and thoughts have popped up so that I could gently process them and breathe into them. And I've kind of blended a lot of these tools for myself, and I do that for my patients too. We will blend some aspects of EMDR, brain spotting, and EFT to help to smooth out those stuck circuits, the patterns that are just kind of stuck there in the subconscious. And it'll really helps to smooth things out so that you can think about it or you can go through it, but it doesn't have the same intensity. And so this is when you're able to start to process it, which is a really beautiful thing to do. The last thing I wanted to talk about today was a message from my dad. So he said to me, like just more in pure spirit form, enjoy all of your days because the end is not the end. And the feeling that I get now from my dad is really pure bliss and love. All the grief he carried in his heart has dissolved. And that's what I mean by there's no right or wrong in how you process your grief and how you process whatever is brought up by any anniversary effect. We all get to the end somehow, but the end is not the end. And the strange thing is that sometimes I miss the ups and downs with my dad. It's sort of strange because he feels so constantly at peace now. But the rest of us here still feel all kinds of emotions. It's that rainbow of emotion. So to enjoy your days, regardless of the positives and negatives. And that experience of being able to feel in a multi-sensory way is magnificent. It's like a great movie, but we are in it. And then afterwards, we can marvel and say, hey, about that. How about that movie? Like, how about that experience that we had? What a movie. And then at the end, which is not the end, we'll be back to our pure soul selves, remembering our connection, and our oneness with all things, and back in that constant state of remembering that we are pure love in essence. So to enjoy your days, enjoy your movie story, and see if you can steer it in a direction of more love for yourself, for each other, and the planet. And yesterday, somebody said to me that, not everyone's going to see medicine how I see it. And that's totally okay with me, because I don't feel that my role is to really convince you of anything. It's just for me to be me and to do what I see, what I feel is part of my role and my mission. So if from anything that I do that you feel you can trust yourself more, that you can see your light and love more and feel that, and that you can express more of your love into the world, if you get that from anything that I do, then that is already a small miracle in itself. And for me, it makes everything that I do worthwhile. So thank you for being here with me today, to talk about the anniversary effect. And it's a little bit difficult to talk about these things when you're going through them yourself, but I wanted to share that. And I know there's going to be more layers of this to share. But I feel that if I can have the courage to do that, then maybe you can have the courage to do that for yourself too. And as always, if you need any help, I am here for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Lots of love to all of you. And I will see you next week, Wednesday, 11 a.m. EST. And see you next time. Take care.